I am extending my warm greeting to all of you to this exciting and vibrant session. Today, I will speak to you about the legendary Ibong Adarna. So please lend your ears as I speak to you about this great literary work of all time. The author of this fantastic story still remains unknown and uncertain. Some said that the author was Spanish because it has been written when the Spaniards ruled the Philippines. During those times, Ibong Adarna was known as Corrido at buhay na pinagdaanan ng tatlong prinsipeng magkakapatid na anak ng Haring Fernando at Reyna Valeriana sa kahariang Bourbania. Some believed that this was composed by José Cisio, pseudonym of José de la Cruz, a great poet during the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. But did you know why he was called José Cisio? He was given the name José Cisio because if ever someone asked him to write a poem about love, he always asked for a live chicks to be given to him as a payment. De la Cruz was one of the three poets whose names are prominent for the use of corrido in the history of literature. The other two are Francisco Balagtas, his student, and Ananias Zorrilla. He is also given the honor of Hari ng mga Makata, or King of the Poets in the Philippines. But during his lifetime, none of De la Cruz's works were ever published. When he was a teenager, he started to have a better understanding in the Tagalog language, think bigger ideas, and possess writing skills that awakened the heart and the soul of the people partly, or mostly due to his constant reading of the Bible. Besides Spanish and Tagalog language, he also learned Latin and Greek. He could also manage to write plays in just a span of time. He was known for his ability to write poems, while that many are asking him to teach them how to rhyme words. According to the elders, De la Cruz was very careful with his writings, and he was never contented with the works that were considered good to others. Therefore, only a few of his pieces were known. Some of his works were shown in Tondo Theatre, owned by Dominus Salis. Here are some of his literary works. In the genre of poetry, these are the Singsing ng Pag-ibig, also known as Sayang na Sayang. Di Awa ng Pag-ibig, also known as Kaawa-awang Buhay. And in the field of mythical romances, these are his works: Clarita, Adela at Florante, Floro at Clavella, Doña Tares de Francia, and Rodrigo de Villa. And in Comedia, La Guerra Civil de Granada, or the Civil War of Granada, Hernandez at Galinzandro, Reina Encantado o Casamiento por Fuerza, or Enchanted Queen or Marriage for Force, Los Dos Reyes o Lo Capa de Oro, Príncipe Baldovino, Conde Rodrigo de Villas, El Amor y la Envidia, Don Gonzalo de Cordoba, and Jason at Medea. Students are required to experience these literary works in order to appreciate Filipino creativity and to communicate good values. No wonder Ibong Adarna has greatly impacted many of the readers due to its fairy tale-like and adventurous storyline. It was originally presented in a form of poetry with Filipino as its medium of language. Now let me introduce to you the relevant background to this great literary work, Ibong Adarna. Well, Ibong Adarna is a mythical story formed in a narrative song and poetry called corrido, and considered a big part of the Philippine literature. With its mysterious and unknown author, but remarkable pen, it was credited as one of the Philippines' greatest work of literature ever written in the country. It is one of the must-see or must-read literary pieces like Rizal's Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. At present, the use of poetry and profound Filipino words is not as effective as before in conveying the story of Ibong Adarna to the people, especially to the youth of today, due to technological advances like the internet and various entertainment media on which many are lured to devote much time. After critically analyzing this literary work, the characters created were the genuine faces of Filipinos' two attitude eras, the black and the white, or the good and the bad. The symbolism of Ibong Adarna as the order which will show man's true colors, flaws, intentions, and purposes is amazingly portrayed in this literary work. When it comes to the moral of the story, the main idea of it always to remain good in spite of the evil that may be done to you, as you will get your reward later on. Next is the unwavering care of the children to their parents, especially in their old age, wherein their father, who is king, was gravely ill and they were all willing to set out on an impossible journey just so they can save his life. And lastly, be proud for the good deed done in spite of the fact that it may not be recognized. To the youngest prince, it doesn't matter if his brothers got the credit for bringing the mythical bird as long as he knew it was he who has done it and that this will make the patriarch of the family better. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom named Barbania. It was ruled by King Fernando and Queen Valeriana, who had three sons, Don Pedro, Don Diego, and Don Juan. One night, King Fernando had a bad dream. He saw that his youngest prince and his favorite Don Juan was thrown away in a creepy deep well. The king started to get weak for some unknown reasons. It seemed that nothing could bring back his healthy condition. His medical advisors told him that the only cure to his unexplained sickness is a lullaby sung by the Adarna bird. So King Fernando tasked his three sons to hunt the magical bird. Don Pedro went first, but he wasn't successful. He may have reached Mount Tabor and the tree of the Piedras Platas where the Adarna bird nested, but the prince fell asleep after hearing the bird's song. Worst, he turned into a stone when the lovely bird pooped on him. The second prince, Don Diego, went to hunt next. Unfortunately, he had the same bitter chance like his older brother. The kingdom was counting on Don Juan, so he went next. The youngest prince has climbed to Mount Tabor. He met a very old sick man who gave him tips about the magical tree of Piedras Platas and catching the Adarna bird. Don Juan successfully caught the bird and helped his two older brothers to be human again. Because of envy and greed of power, the two joined forces to beat Don Juan to death and throw him in a deep well. The two then turned home with the Adarna. However, the king's illness went worse because the bird never sang a single song. Luckily, Don Juan's strength returned. He has been healed by the poor old man he helped in the mountain. He came back to the kingdom of Barbania. King Fernando has known the truth when the bird started singing after seeing Don Juan. The king went well and stronger than ever. He wanted to punish his two sons, but Don Juan asked his father to just forgive them. The king granted his request, and asked the three princes to guard the Adarna bird. Because of Don Pedro, the bird flew away and escaped. Don Juan went away from the kingdom so the king won't punish his brother. King Fernando asked the two princes to look for Don Juan. They found him in the kingdom of Armenia. They decided to live there. One day, they found an interesting well. Only Don Juan went down inside successfully. He found two lovely princesses, Dona Juana and Dona Leonora, captive by a giant serpent. Because of his skills in fighting, the mighty princess killed the serpent and saved the two princesses. Don Pedro invited the young prince. He cut the rope when the prince went down inside the well to get the ring Dona Leonora has forgotten. Anyway, it was easy for Don Diego to make Dona Juana to fall in love with him. So, when they came back to Bourbania, they had married. On the other hand, Don Pedro did everything to pursue Dona Leonora, but he then failed. An enchanted fox helped Don Juan and he was quickly healed. The Adarna bird appeared suddenly and told him about the princess of Reino de los Cristales, his love destiny. He immediately searched for the princess and found out about the cruel King Salermo. In spite of the obstacles the cruel king has given him, he faced them all and succeeded with the help of Maria Blanca, daughter of King Salermo. Because of the selfish king, the two tried to escape. Maria Blanca was cursed to be crawling like a snail and be forgotten by the Prince Don Juan. Don Juan has returned to Bourbania where he was welcomed by his mother Queen Valeriana and Princess Leonora. He has forgotten about Maria Blanca because of Princess Leonora. Don Juan and Princess Leonora were scheduled to wed. At the day of the wedding, Maria Blanca visited wearing the Imperatrice. She tried to bring back all the memories and remind Don Juan about their love. Finally, Don Juan and Princess Maria Blanca got married, while Princess Leonora married Don Pedro. In the end, Don Pedro became the new king of Bourbania, while Don Juan became the king of Reino de los Cristales.